Good morning, and welcome back to 10-Minute English Cafe. It is Tuesday, July 14th, 2026. Good morning. I saw a new shop opening near me, and suddenly I wanted to visit the whole shopping center. That is a powerful invitation. You were ready to show up. I was. I told myself I only needed one thing, which usually means I will look at everything. That gives us today's keyword. Today's keyword is show up, spelled S-H-O-W, S-H-O-W, and U-P.
It sounds simple, but it feels bigger than just arriving somewhere.
Exactly. Today, we'll see how people show up for a new store, a family festival, and a huge music event.
So showing up can mean shopping, celebrating, or being part of something special.
First, New Look is opening a very large concept store at Metro Center in Gateshead.
A store that wants me to come in, stay a while, and maybe return something without talking to anyone.
Then, Bay City's Fireworks Festival brings rides, music, and families together for a 3-night tradition. That is the kind of event where somebody has already saved a good place on the hill. And finally, Justin Bieber is joining Madonna, Shakira, and BTS for a World Cup final halftime show. That is a very different kind of arrival. The stage is going to be crowded with stars. If you're new here, we turn real news into natural English conversation every day. Listen for how one small phrase can work in a shop, a hometown, and a global event. If this helps your listening practice, please subscribe and spend 10 minutes with us. Let's see who's ready to show up. Our first story is about New Look and a new concept store at Metro Center. For anyone new to the name, New Look is a familiar fashion retail chain in the UK. Right. This story is about a familiar chain changing the shopping visit, not launching a new product brand. I like a store opening because it gives people an excuse to make a small day of shopping. The Scottish Sun reports that the Gateshead store is the chain's largest ever concept store. So the size is part of the news, but the design is part of the invitation. The store covers about 11,000 square feet and includes more women's wear, accessories, and a teen range. That is a lot of room for the sentence, "I am just looking." It also offers click and collect, self-service returns, order in-store, and digital browsing. Self-service returns sound very friendly to a person who has changed her mind in silence. The idea is to connect the physical store with online shopping instead of treating them as separate worlds. I can browse on my phone, try something on, and still ask the store to order another size. Right, that's an omni-channel experience with different ways to shop working together. The fitting room becomes part of the online journey, not the end of it. The opening also includes iced matcha, sweet treats, live music, and small prize activities. So people are not only showing up for a dress, they're showing up for opening day energy. The first 200 customers who spend in-store receive a goodie bag, with no minimum spend mentioned in the report. That's a clever reason to arrive early, even if I promised myself I would only browse. In this story, show up means choosing to enter a place because the experience feels worth the trip. The shop is saying, "Come in person. We made the visit part of the product." Exactly. A concept store is not only a bigger room, it's a different way to welcome shoppers. And a better reason to leave the sofa. Our second story moves from a new store to a local summer tradition in Bay City. Bay City is a city in the U.S. state of Michigan, right? I want to place the story on the map. Right. And this festival is a 3-day July 4th weekend tradition, not just one fireworks display. That is a full evening plan, not just a short trip to watch the sky. The volunteer-run event lasts 3 nights and uses Veterans Memorial Park and Winona Park.
When an event has more than one park, it starts to feel like the whole town is involved.
The article focuses on families who return year after year and keep familiar viewing habits.
That is what makes a festival a tradition. You remember where you sat, who came with you, and what you ate.
On Friday, bands perform live. On Saturday, the rides run from 1 p.m. to midnight. Midnight rides sound exciting, but I would probably watch from a safe distance after dinner. The fireworks are scheduled at 10:12 p.m., giving the evening a clear moment to wait for. Everyone shows up for that moment, even if they spend the earlier hours on rides. That's another meaning of show up. It can mean participating in a shared community moment. You don't need to know every person there. The tradition gives everyone a reason to belong for one night. Exactly. The festival is run by volunteers, but the feeling is created by the returning crowd. A family tradition is a promise people make with their calendars. And a local event becomes stronger when people keep that promise.
I like that. You show up once for fireworks, then you show up again because the memory is waiting.
Our final story takes us to the biggest stage of the day.
I am ready for the star list, but I will try not to lose track.
AP reports that Justin Bieber will join Madonna, Shakira, and BTS for the World Cup final halftime show.
That is not just a concert guest list. It sounds like several music worlds arriving at once.
The planned performance will take place during the final on July 19th.
So this is an announcement about a future event, and the date is part of the excitement.
The show is planned to last 11 minutes and is carefully curated by a music curator.
Curated means carefully selected and arranged, right? It's more than simply putting famous people in one room.
Exactly. A curated show has a shape, a mood, and a reason for each part.
That makes the word useful for music, art, and even a very careful playlist.
The event will support the FIFA Global Citizen Education Fund, which is raising $100 million for education and soccer access.
Then the stars are showing up for more than attention. The event also points toward a wider goal.
Right. Show up can describe an appearance, but it can also suggest support.
You show up for a team, a cause, or people who need a bigger audience.
A halftime show is usually short, so every minute has to carry energy and meaning. 11 minutes with that many names sounds like a very busy little world. And because it's planned for the World Cup final, the audience will already be watching from around the world.
That's the ultimate version of showing up. The stage comes to millions at the same time.
So, our last example is a star-studded event with a public purpose.
I will remember the phrase, show up can be physical, social, or generous.
Today, we use the phrase show up in a store, a festival, and a halftime show.
People showed up to shop, to keep a family tradition, and to support a huge shared event.
The takeaway is that showing up is more than arriving.
It can mean choosing to be present, joining other people, or supporting a purpose.
Here is today's question. Which event would you most like to show up for?
Option A, the new concept store. Option B, the fireworks festival. Or Option C, the World Cup halftime show.
I would choose B for the atmosphere, but I would visit A for the self-service returns.
I choose C for the music, and then I would show up early for the best view.
Try this sentence. I decided to show up because the experience sounded worth the trip.
Or I show up for the people, not only for the event.
That is a useful sentence for everyday life.
And a good reminder that plans become memories when we actually go.
Thank you for spending 10 minutes with us at 10-Minute English Cafe. If you enjoyed the conversation,
Please like, subscribe, and come back tomorrow.
take today's phrase with you. Show up, be present, and be part of the moment. See you tomorrow. Bye.